Because that's what I love doing. You come out of a corner or you come onto a freeway and you pop the thing and go. Oh God, the thing just grunts. Hey, boys and girls, another episode from Commander Revs. Another little outing on the double R today. Boy, it's May 1st. I swear it was November 1st. This is a sad day in that this might be my last vlog from the double R. My last episode I talked about the next bike that I would like to have and dreaming about. The episode before that I did a 1-year review on this bike. I've owned this bike for a year now. Anyway, I mused about the Aprilia Tuono 1100 factory that I have been drooling about of late. But in that 1-year review on this bike, I said that I am planning on keeping this bike for another year, and I really thought I was going to, and I might still. Nothing's really happened yet on the front of getting something else, but what happened is I started snooping around online and I found a handful of 18s that were at a halfway decent price, but they weren't in my area. And by the time you get all the extra crap that a dealership like that, I couldn't find any used ones, so a handful of new ones, and they're 1,200-1,400 miles away, and $800-900 to ship it here. By the time I got that bike home, I bet you I would have been within $1,500, maybe $2,000 at the most, $2,000 within what I could get a brand new 19 for. What I found out is the 19 has the semi-active Öhlins on the factory. It's semi-active Öhlins now. So Öhlins was already like, wow, awesome, the best suspension ever. And now it's even better because it's a semi-active. He told me verbally, the sales guy did, what the book was on this for trade-in. Now watch, today I'll go there and they're like, oh no, it's $1,500 less than what that guy told you. I fully expect that to be the case. So if something like that happens and we just can't come to grips with anything that makes me happy, I will be riding this home. We'll see. This bike is too much fun. Are you kidding me? Why would I want to get rid of this thing? Well, like I told my buddy Nate, shout out to you, Nate. I'm probably going to need a ride if I do buy that thing. I don't think I'll be taking it home today. You never know. But Nate's always been my trustworthy buddy to give me a ride over to wherever I need to go to pick up a bike. Bring it home without my wife knowing anything about it. So then she sees it in the shop or in the garage and it's like, what's that? Like, what? What's that? Why? Whose bike is that? Where'd you get that? I don't know. Yeah, you can only play dumb so long. Anyway, I was telling my buddy Nate the other day, it's like, when I didn't really explain it. I think I just texted him the statement, but I always wondered when I was a kid what it meant when, like in the old British Empire or any monarchy, when the king would die, they would always announce when the king died, they'd say, the king is dead, long live the king. And I never understood that as a kid. It's like, what? That makes zero sense. The king just died. Long live the king's dead. How could that be? What is that? Well, duh. grow up a little bit and you learn something about life. You realize they're talking about the next king. The king's dead, but the instant that king died, the new king has taken the throne, so you're wishing long life for the new king. So that's my motto for this thing. I love this bike. This has been just a blast. I've loved riding this thing for the last year. But if I do get something else, long live the king. I mean, the next bike I get, if it's the Tuono, that's the bike I'm looking at right now. And whatever bike replaces this, obviously there's something that's making me make that move. There's something keeping me from making that move as well, and that is the checkbook. But I'm not even up to 8,000, and yikes, it's just fun. Yeah, you get above 8, I've said it 1,000 times, you get above 8,000 RPM, it's 4, 8, 12. You watch my tack as we're rolling along here doing different stuff. When this thing gets to 8, it's hard to see on the GoPro, but you literally have to start squeezing tighter on the handle grips because it's out of here. The two things is the clip-ons, the tucked up position here, this race position. I'm 61 years old. It's not terrible. I said this is actually one of the more comfortable sport bikes. I don't hate this positioning, this ride. It's not horrible. But I still think the handlebars, the handlebars are going to give me a better ride. It's still going to be tucked up. It's a slightly more sport position than most super nakeds, but I kind of like that about it. It's just a blend. It's a nice sweet spot in between a crazy sport bike, super sport, and a super naked. Most super nakeds are much more upright and a little more leg room. But I have the GS for I'm not looking to cruise. That's why I got this thing. I have something that I'm going to cruise on. This is for outings, little local outings, just to have fun and go fast. And this bike so fits the bill for that. So it's the riding position and that engine. I love this engine, don't get me wrong, but that engine in that Tuono is just more suited for the road. It's geared for the road. It's tuned and mapped, and it's just got such a much wider power band that's more usable for the road. Plus the V4 pull, the higher torque. So between the engine, the riding position, while remaining in the genre styling-wise, the styling genre of the sport bike. It's a naked bike, but there just isn't much difference between the RS V4 which is the full race version of that Aprilia, and the Tuono. It's missing a half the fairing down low, but it's got pretty much the same front end look. So that's my thinking on it. I'm gonna go look at it. Gonna stop at the gas station here and head up the freeway to the dealership and see what they say. Getting on the freeway is one of the most fun things to do with this thing, I'll tell you that. I could be a jerk and blow by him, but I'm not going to do that. Be cool, bruh. That only takes us so far, though. Boy, the heated grips on this thing, I'm going to miss those. The Tuono doesn't have them. I could get some aftermarket ones, but the money they get for that thing, it should have everything a guy needs. I hate this roundabout. Makes you think you need to be in the left lane just like this car did. I followed him. It's a roundabout. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Sing that Yes song. I really probably should have been a singer. You know, because I probably would have done well being a complete loser with no money, because that's how much I'd have made as a singer. Now I got that song in my head. And if you didn't recognize what song it was I was singing, it was Roundabout by Yes. Back in the 70s. I am not young. Oh, that clutch is fast. Early. That clutch is right now. All right. Oh, the tranny's like butter. The Quickshifter is probably even better. Love the torque. Oh, I love the brakes on this thing. The front brake is like butter. My not used to that quick early clutch. The Brembo 50 M50s on my double R are like, you look at them and the brakes are on. This thing is just, they come in nice and smooth. So far I like the front brake better than the double R. I like the riding position. It's kind of weird. The rear sets are actually a little bit behind the double R. But I'm sitting upright, so it's not cramped. I'd say my legs are probably as bent, about the same, if anything, maybe slightly less, but probably about the same as the double R. Oh God, that thing just grunts. Oh, this thing just pulls. People talk about the engine's noise on this thing, and you're not going to get it on the GoPro. You just won't. You have to hear one of these live in order to really appreciate this V4 grunty growl. 6 gear pulls, just pulls. 6 gear doing 5,500. Just wants to go. So I am looking at this because I want more mid-range torque and power instead of all of it being at the top end like the double R is. And this thing absolutely does fit that bill. Looking for a more upright position, it definitely fits that bill, but it's still sporty. Still a sporty ride position, but it is definitely more upright. I'm actually getting probably a little more wind. I'm 6'1". And another thing about the Super Nakeds, it doesn't have really any, most of them don't have squat up front. This thing at least does have this little windshield. I probably could get an aftermarket one that's a little higher. But I am in a little bit of, it's not turbulent air, but I'm feeling more air on this than I think even the double R, because the double R you're kind of tucked down in. This thing you're riding more up on top of it. Here's the downshift, quick blipper here. Oh man, all the way down to 1 going 45 miles an hour. Didn't even complain. The little pause between the upshifts is actually kind of cool. I think my BMW Quickshifter is a little smoother as far as seamless. I'll play with it a little more to see if that's true, but my first impressions, God, right down to 1, just like nothing. My first impressions are is there's almost a little bit too much of a blip. I know there's not a blip on the upshift, but yeah, there maybe is. There's first to second was real smooth. A little bit of a pause though. Yeah, there is actually it rolls the power off on an upshift too. Now, I think this thing probably is really in its element when you are going much faster, higher RPMs. And also, look at this. I'm going to roll some throttle on and I'm going to downshift. Most quick shifters are just complaining when you do that. This thing doesn't mind it at all. Throttle on, downshift. Be careful where your wheelie control is set when you do that, because she'll take off on you. From 4 to 3. Turning left here. Don't know if we have self-canceling turn signals. To look into that. Yeah, there's definitely a little roll off of the power fueling when upshifting. So it's just different. It's smooth, it's solid, it's not missing anything. She just barks. So again, back to this engine. I am totally about the more mid-range torquey engine, and this thing fits the bill for that. From the waist down, it's like you're on a super sport bike. From the waist up, you're on a super naked. So the Quickshifter down is just like, it's just like butter. I hardly ever quick shift down into first on either my GS, which that thing is just way more agricultural as far as a quick shifter. But my Beamer, the double R, that thing works really well. But I really still rarely will auto blip down to 1. And the first time I did this, I actually didn't realize I was going from second to first. I was going like 40 miles an hour. Didn't complain at all. When you do it at reasonable speeds, 20 or less, it's like you didn't even notice it. So that's really amazing. Thing gets up it goes, no problemo. I don't know, it's a lot of money. It's just different. My double R is fun for all the reasons it's fun. This thing is going to be fun if I was to do something here. A lot of fun for kind of some different reasons. I do like the ability to do your traction control settings. I just dropped from 7 down to 5 here. Just boom boom with this little paddle. That is really exceptional. Rather than going through the menu to select different traction control. Pretty flickable, maybe slightly less than the double R, but you know, that's a race bike. This is it's a race bike platform, but I think the higher bars, I don't know. Flickability is probably about equal. It's just different. The wider bars maybe just makes it feel a little different. You know, let the turn signals run. I don't know if they are self-canceling or not. I never really use it on the Beamer. Both my Beamers have it. They finally did turn off. Same as on my Beamer. They just take forever to finally cancel. I usually cancel them manually. I see what people are talking about with this joystick button. It's really sensitive, and it's with a glove, you know, are you pushing up or down, or are you pushing straight down on it to make an entry? It's really hard to tell. They could have made that a little more robust or a little bit more beefier, just to give you a little more tactile feel to it. So I see what people are saying about that. Missing the heated grips, just like I knew I would. Tried to do the traction control, and I honked the horn. So. Wow. I don't think I would miss any of the power that the double R has over this bike, because that's what I love doing. You come out of a corner, or you come onto a freeway, and you pop the thing and go. And then when you get up to a normally slightly insane speed, you just slow right back down again. Where the double R is really just starting to come to life when you hit those normal insane speeds. And then from then on, it's insane. Unnecessary insane. So I love the power band on this thing. I love the looks of this thing. Not hating the riding position. It's better than the double R, which it's not horrible, especially for a super sport. For a naked bike, I think this is still a little sporty, but you know what? I kind of like that. I have my GS Adventure for total upright cruising type riding. I'm still going to be using this just for a Sunday afternoon hooligan outing, and but I think it's still just a little bit better riding position for an old guy like me. Better power band, better look, or at least as good a looking bike. You can still tuck. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to make him an offer on this thing. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this thing doesn't suck. Am I the first guy to ride this? Oh, grunt. Rear brake, nothing to write home about, but they never are. Decent, but easier to get to than my double R. My double R seems like it's a little cumbersome to get your foot in there. I hardly ever used it. I already just used the past tense. I hardly ever used it. Uh-oh, might be in trouble. My checkbook's in trouble. Oh, it just wants to turn. I love the way this thing falls into a turn. Yeah, this is the bike for me. Dang.